The following program is a presentation of the Ohio School Boards Association.
Welcome to the OSBA Forum. As always, we have conversations with Ohio's public school leaders, and I'm your host, Mark Bobo. Listen, this is a very, that's about 6 varies, special episode of the OSBA Forum, where today we welcome the outgoing CEO of the Ohio School Boards Association, Dr. Kathy McFarland, who more importantly will be stepping into that new role at the national level as the CEO of COSBBA. Dr. McFarland, glad to have you here today.
Yes, it's a little different to sit on this side of the interview. We're usually sitting next to each other, but yes,
we're going to make this work, and it's going to be awesome.
Okay.
Sincerely.
Great.
Glad to have you here.
Thanks.
You know, this is both a celebration and a send-off, and so we got to cover the technical part of this thing, but COSBBA, the Consortium of State School Board Association.
Very good, yes.
I had to take my time with that.
I know. Right.
So tell us about COSBBA. Tell us about the move. Tell us about the intentions. Just talk about this new chapter that you're starting at COSBBA.
Thanks, Mark. I appreciate the opportunity to share some information with you. So let's just start about what COSBBA is. COSBBA is a nonpartisan association made up of school, state, board associations. Our job at the COSBBA at the national level is to support the state school board associations and their executive directors and staff. And so we are nonpartisan. Our job is to provide training and services and events to help our state school board associations serve their local school districts.
Yeah. And so, as I recall, because Ohio played a major role in its formalization, 2021, I believe it was, is when all this kind of started. So still somewhat in infancy.
Yes.
But what I have come to learn in these few years, emphasizing member-led governance and innovation. So how do you see that philosophy shaping your early priorities as executive director?
Just like in Ohio, Mark, how we support local control. That is what we do at COSBBA. States have their local control, and our job is to support our states. Our states there are 25 of us now in COSBBA, and they're diverse in their needs and their focuses, and so our job, once again, at the national level, is to support the work that the state school board associations are doing to support their local districts.
I think it's so important that you have emphasized nonpartisan.
Correct.
Right? And understanding that the membership is the state school board association, and looking at the COSBBA as a national voice, and with your priorities there. So, of course, as you well know, being part of OSBA for these number of years, state school boards and school boards themselves face some unique challenges.
Yes.
And so, but there's often some shared issues that are just national, teacher shortage, bus issues. And so how will COSBBA help assist the states in regards to some of these national issues?
Yeah, so the first thing we do is our job is to provide information, right? Our states are busy keeping up with what's going on in their state. So for instance, in Ohio, our advocacy team is focused on Ohio legislation and what's going on at our state house. Our job at the national level is to keep everybody abreast on what's going on at the federal level. And so one of the biggest things we do is we are going to be providing ongoing information. And as you are well aware, there's a lot of things coming out of the federal level right now, right? And so our job is to push that information to our state associations and be that resource.
Yeah, so too often our members, I think, struggle to say, when do I reach out to COSBBA? How can they help us? And so even some of those priorities, you know, is the best way your website at this point? How best to get connected with COSBBA?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are in transition. I officially will start July 1st. So Dr. Tom Bertrand, the current executive director, is still in the seat. And so I think through our website, contacting me, contacting Tom, contacting, your state executive director to reach out to us. We are here, even though we are in a transition stage. We want to make sure that people know that the work doesn't stop, right? Just because we're transitioning doesn't mean that the work stops. And the one thing I want to highlight is the 7 areas that we are advocating for at the federal level. First is prioritizing K-12 public education. The second is increasing funding for K-12 education. Fully funding IDEA, which as of right now is only funded at about 19%. Improving student mental health, preserving teacher and principal training and recruitment, protecting broadband connectivity, cybersecurity, and E-rate, and increasing reimbursements for child nutrition program. So those are our 7 planks, our 7 focus areas that when we do go to DC and we are talking to these decision makers, those are the 7 areas that we will be focusing on. And so I see it as a 2-prong position that we're in regards to we push out information, making sure everybody knows what's going on, and then second, making sure that we keep these 7 planks in our focus.
Sounds like those focus areas will definitely help the state of Ohio.
Yes.
So thank you in advance
Yes.
for that
Thank
advocacy.
you. Yes.
And so, just to be particular to Ohio, what are some particular ways that COSBBA will be able to help us here in this state?
Yeah. So we have what I call buckets, different buckets. We have events. We have an annual conference, we have an advocacy conference coming up in September. We have a leadership institute for the officers of each of the state associations. We have webinars, and then we have resources and services, and then our advocacy. So those are what I would say are consider the 3 areas: is the actual events, experiences, the resources and services that we offer, and then the advocacy piece.
I've often heard from our members when they go to national conferences in our previous association, they gain so much by being with their peers and getting a national perspective. Even at the last conference where you were introduced as the incoming CEO, the reflections that we received was that COSBBA does a really good job of getting great subject matter to the forefront. And so as you walk into this leadership, when you see the vision that you have for the association, what comes to mind immediately as far as your vision for COSBBA going forward?
Yeah. So as a current state exec, I want to know what my return on investment is, right? I am paying a membership due, and I want to know what am I getting in return. And so what I see my role as the new executive director at COSBBA is to continue to listen to our members, listen to what their needs are, listen to what they need in order to do their job, which is to support their local districts, and then provide that for them. So I am always going to be focused on all execs and all state association boards are asking, what's our return on investment? Why are we paying this membership, and what are we getting in return? And that's our job as a COSBBA team, is to make sure you know what you're getting for your return on investment.
There's a great book. I can't remember the author right now, but it's called The First 90 Days.
Yes.
So when you think about your first 90 days, just spitball real quick. What are your priorities?
Okay, so my priorities, I'm going to call it inside and outside the house.
Okay.
First of all, inside the house, I need to get to know my team, right? There's 10 members on the COSBBA team, and my job is to get to know what do you do, what do you bring to the table, what is your expertise, are you in the right seat on the bus, and are you bringing something to the table that is benefiting our members? And then second of all, really just getting out and building relationships and listening to what the needs of our members are. I also think that we need a face down in DC. We do. We need somebody sitting in front of legislators who is promoting public education. I have 26 years of public education experience, 7.5 years at the association level, which I think is a pretty good balance to bring to the table and have conversations with decision makers who are making decisions that are directly impacting our local districts and our students. And so I think the 2 things is working with my new team, right? New leader, new team. And then second of all, really listening to what our members need and making sure that we are offering those resources and services.
So let's just deal with leadership in the vacuum in and of itself. So when you are transitioning and stepping into a role, and with all due respect to Dr. Bertrand, his 4 years of leadership, excellent leadership. How do you prepare yourself to step into a role? Again, you are known because you've been here with OSBA, but how do you bring your leadership style into the role while at the same time taking care of the people who are still on your bus?
So I think that the first thing, I've always said leadership is a skill, and you have to sharpen those tools all the time. So I am continually always trying to grow as a leader. So getting better, being aware of my leadership style. The one thing I've really benefited from the COSBBA team is the feedback. Here's areas of growth, here's what you're good at. And so that self-awareness and always growing and being a good leader. And then second of all, once again, getting to know my team members. How do they function in conflict? How do they like to communicate? How do they feel about the current team? Those things are what I'm really spending time on. I've had an opportunity actually to meet one-on-one with each of the team members. And so getting to know what their experience has been, where do they see areas of growth and opportunity, and what are we really doing well right now at COSBBA that we want to continue to do.
I love that you said that. Like, all leaders need to understand you got to get sharper.
All the time.
You can't become static in what you're doing. So you have to always sharpen those tools,
Yes.
And so selfishly, as I look at, and correct me, December of 2017 is when you came over to OSBA.
That is correct.
And so it's been approximately 8 years of your leadership here, coming in as deputy executive and then serving as CEO. Just as you take a moment of reflection, tell me some things that you're proud of. I know you're not haughty, but just tell me some things.
I love your vocabulary.
That you're proud of that you were able to accomplish here at OSBA.
Yeah, I think always keeping the students out front in this position, bringing the student voice to the table. I think when I first started and I had conversations with some of our members and they were struggling or having challenges, and I would say, well, what do the kids say? And what do the students think? And they would say, well, I don't know. And I would say, how do you lead a group without opening lines of communication open? So I think we've done a really great job at OSBA of always looking for opportunities for students to be either on a board, part of the conversation at the table, and then highlighting all the great things that are going on in our public schools. And so celebrating those successes, making sure that we are looking for areas that we can provide resources and support to our districts. I think we've done a really great job with that. And so, and then getting to know, there's just really great people out there. Board members, I believe the majority of them, 99.9% of them, have really great intentions, right? They got into this position in order to better their communities, better their districts, take care of their students, take care of their staffs, and make sure the district is moving forward. So working with people who genuinely care about public education has been really, it's been really great and very fulfilling. Yeah,
I noticed when we would go on the road show, as we call it, and you would prepare your remarks at our conferences. You would be intentional about immediately getting to the student group and getting their voice, and their voice would be heard for the entirety of that conference from your remarks. I think that's so powerful because it reminded each of us and level set. This is why we're doing it, right? There's challenges that we have, and we're dealing with them, and we're trying our best, but we got to get back to what we're doing this for, which is the kids.
Which is their why.
And that's which is their why.
Yes.
I want you to take some time with that. What is your why?
So my why is the belief that when adults get better, students benefit. I'm gonna cry. Okay, we're going to take a commercial break. Hold on.
This is good.
No. So I have always looked for opportunities to put myself into positions where I can benefit students, right? I don't care if it's right in front of them in a classroom, standing in front of them. I don't care if it's coaching them. I don't care if it's running a building, or if it's working with the adults who have a direct influence on the success of those students. So my driving force and passion has always been, what have I done to make sure that students are being successful? And I believe at this national level, I now have an opportunity to work with even more adults who are working with students, whose focus is on making sure their districts are moving forward and doing great things for public education. And so that to me has always been my focus, my passion, and my why is I believe so much in public education and the great things it does for our children that it is an honor. It is an honor, truly, to be at this level and at this stage, because once again, I get to sit at the table with all these great people who are doing great work for public education.
So, as you're speaking to our membership, and this, this episode will live in perpetuity with OSBA. If you were to say right now, you want to have some words for that present school board member or a future school board member, what would be your advice to a school board member operating in 2025?
So I think I'm going to go back to the why. you need to know your why. Why are you sitting on a board of education? If it's not because you want to do what's good for your community, if it's not because you want to move your district forward, and if it's not because you want to do what's great for kids, find something else to do. Quite honestly, you should be on there because you represent those that put you in that position, right? And you should be working together with the governance team to make sure that you are doing everything you absolutely can to make sure that kids are going to be successful.
Wow. So when you say that, and you've always been direct, that's one thing you definitely are. You tell it how it is. So when you see that person who is maybe struggling right now, maybe wondering how we're going to move forward. I'm a school board member trying my best, but it seems like all the challenges are there.
Yeah.
What do you say to them?
Yeah, gosh. I think, first of all, don't give up. Please, please don't ever give up. Step back, take a deep breath, whatever you have to do, but don't leave the playing field, right?
Yeah.
Stay on the field. Look for those that can support you. Look for your network. Keep your why out in front. Know that you are important. I've always said that kids don't know your faces or your names sometimes, but they believe in you. Children believe that there are adults out there working hard every day for them. And so how important your position is, that there's resources out there. You have a state association, you have a national association. We are here, we are your cheerleaders, we are your support system. We believe in you and the work and the impact that you can have. You can change the trajectory of a child's life, which is such a gift. I mean, how many people can say they have the opportunity to do that? And so I would just say it is hard work, right? Good work usually is hard and challenging and exhausting. And sometimes you think, am I making a difference? You are making a difference. I promise, I promise, I promise you. So I would just say, stay in there, play the, fight the good fight. But use your resources, use your state associations, use your national association.
We have wonderful producers that help us look great up here. And they had a question here and that I was supposed to ask you, but I'm going to take a liberty. When I think of Dr. Kathy McFarland and your impact at OSBA, your legacy is bringing student voice to the forefront.
Thank you.
Your legacy is making sure that each of us here, staff, school board members, understand and know your why and be committed to that. So on behalf of the staff, on behalf of our school board members, Dr. McFarland, thank you for your commitment to students. Thank you for your commitment to public education. And thank you for being the biggest advocate for students in the state of Ohio. We so appreciate you.
Thank you.
It goes without saying, we're going to miss the heck out of you.
I'm going to miss you guys too, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be, Ohio will be one of my faves, and I will always be here to support the great work you're doing here. And state associations, gosh, they do such great work, and their teams and their team of experts that they have to support, their local school districts and their board members. So thank you. And I expect, the bar's high here, right? And this place needs to continue to grow and to move forward and be great. Kids counting on us. So
OSBA is better because you've been here.
Oh, thanks.
And thank you for all that you do. And to my COSBBA friends, you better take care of Dr. McFarland. Just want to make that very clear. Sincerely, Kathy, thank you for being part of the OSBA Forum today. We appreciate all your leadership and all the work that you do. And thank you for all that you are for Ohio's children and now the United States children, our country's children. You're on that national level. We're excited for you.
That's awesome. That's great.
Excited for you. Well, thank you for being part of the OSBA Forum today. I hope that you have gained some insights from Dr. McFarland and the great work that she's done at OSBA that will continue at the national level at our national association, the Consortium of State School Board Association. So as always, thank you for being part of this conversation. If there's anything that we can do to help you, we're always here at OSBA to be a support to you. And as always, I'm going to leave you with Dr. McFarland's quote, "As adults get better, students benefit. Keep leading with purpose, and thank you for being here today."